one. So the new look Lakers are amazing, right? They have been so much fun to watch, have really brought just new freshness and excitement to Lakers Nation and this fan base. It's just been amazing, right? I mean, we have basically everything. We have depth, we have talent, we have defense, we have shooting, we have playmaking. It's been really solid. And with this new team, we've seen that LeBron James and Anthony Davis don't have to carry the load night in and night out. I mean, to be fair, LeBron James and Anthony Davis haven't really had to do much these last few games. We're 3-1 with this new look roster. The only team that beat us was Portland, and they shot like historically great numbers that if they shot that way the rest of the year, they would not lose a single game and beat everybody by 20. So can't really put too much into that game. It happens. Sometimes things just go that way. You dust it off and you go to the next one. And that's exactly what the Lakers have done. And now they still have a long, just treacherous road ahead that's going to be very tough. But I do really believe in this team. I would be surprised if we don't at least make the play-in, let alone get into like that 7 or 8 spot. I think we at least get to the 7th or 8th spot. I really do believe that we can get into that 6th seed, and that's what the Lakers are kind of pushing for. They want to get into like that 6th, maybe even 5th seed. I even did a video earlier kind of breaking down that this team could actually get to, I mean, they could get as far as like the 4 seed very likely. I think the 3 and definitely the 2 seed I think is just too far away. They would essentially have to go, 22-0 the rest of the way, which is not impossible, but that's tough. That's really hard. I mean, you're talking like historic win numbers, but they're only 4 games out of 5th place and 4.5 games out of 4th. That, I believe, is achievable and obtainable, and I think that that's something that they could do if they keep playing the way that they're playing. But nonetheless, you're going to need LeBron. You're going to need AD to have those games, and I do believe that they will. I do believe that those two you're going to get the LeBron 40-point game where he just goes off and is just incredible and we win, right? You're going to get that, 35 and 20 game from AD and you're just like, wow, this is incredible. But why should they have to kill themselves to game in and game out when they don't need to? If you can get them, I mean, the last 2 games, they've played 30 minutes or less and we've won in very dominant blowout fashion. If we could do that every game the rest of the way, good. I mean, who cares about, LeBron has to get 30. Davis has to give us 30 and 40, right? Like, who cares about that? Like, Anthony Davis was dominant on the defensive end, did his part. And LeBron made some huge plays, was running as playmaker. We saw early on him just orchestrating and running the offense. When did we see that? I mean, even the commentators made an announcement about that. Like, when was the last time you saw LeBron enter early offense and give the ball up? Like, one of the biggest complaints we had about LeBron early in the season was that, like, he was just holding the ball for like 20 seconds into the shot clock and not making decisions. Now he's playing within the flow of the offense. This team is just playing together. They're averaging 30 assists per game. That is like Warriors dynasty numbers. Like, that is insane. That's when Steve Kerr was like 30 assists or more a game. Like, that's what the Lakers are doing here. They're top in defensive total defense, and they're top 5 right now in total offense. Right? They're 7th on the season, but since this trade deadline, since they've gotten this new team, and very likely they're going to continue to be that. They're very likely going to be top 5 in defense, top 5 in offense the rest of the way. I think at worst they're top 10 in defense and probably top 5 in offense. Because again, we were top 7, we were number 7 in offense prior to this trade. And we have much better offensive players and are running and just operating much more smoothly on the offensive end. So that is something worth noting. But the big question is LeBron James, right? I've seen a lot of people wonder, like, is everything going on with LeBron James? Is LeBron James okay? And I don't want to speculate. Just, I don't want to try to make stuff up here, but I want to talk about, like, the things that we know, right? So we know that he's had foot and ankle problems pretty much all season. We also know that he hurt his hand in the All-Star game. Now, he has said, and the Lakers have said, that, that the hand is fine. Foot and ankle and stuff like that is still a bit of a concern. I think also it's worth noting that even the commentators asked the question of like, is he sick? Is everything okay? Because, he just didn't seem right, even coming into the game, even coming into the, the stadium for workouts and stuff like that. He just seemed off. He didn't really seem to be himself. So maybe he has, maybe he's just sick, right? People get sick, things going around. LeBron himself said, I plan on playing all 23 games. So he's probably going to try to stick to that commitment. Not saying that he has to, but bigger than anything, like, what's wrong with LeBron taking a back seat if we're winning, right? Like, my thing is, like, let's judge LeBron based on how things shape up. Like, if we get blown out and he just didn't show up, then sure. But in a game like the Warriors game where he was great and he did so many other things, his offense just wasn't coming, right? He was still getting to the rim. Yes, he kind of seemed a little out of sorts and kind of like lackadaisical at times out there on the court. But in general, like, he was deferring, he was giving the ball, and the offense was flowing. Guys were moving. We were sharing the basketball. Guys were scoring. Malik Beasley was shooting the lights out. Like, what's wrong with LeBron just saying, hey, I have these guys. Why not let them handle the workload? LeBron only has to play 26 minutes. If we needed LeBron to go get 30, I'm sure he could have went and gotten 30. But we were pretty steadily from start to finish in control of that game. And LeBron knows that. Not just that, but it's nice to see LeBron trusting his teammates, trusting his players, trusting the guys he has around. Like I mentioned earlier, the commentators even said, like, when was the last time you saw LeBron give up the basketball early in a possession? Because you just usually don't see that. And the fact that he's doing that shows that he's committed to this team, to this roster. That is huge. That is what you want to see. Look, if LeBron just goes and gets his 10 points just to keep his double-digit record and gives us like 10 rebounds and 9 assists or whatever every game, I don't care as long as we're winning. I say it over and over again, and I will still continue to scream this until I turn blue in the face. It should not be about the stats. Look, LeBron, and I said this for months, that I thought LeBron was purposely trying to get, because he's trying to chase the scoring record. They were playing him 40 minutes a game. There were possessions where he was shooting us out of games. There were games where he just was clearly bad, and he usually tries to like do other things, and he just didn't. He wasn't as passive as he has been in other years. And I just think that was the goal. That I need to get the scoring title. I'm X amount of time away. I really think now he's got the scoring title. All he's doing is just putting that further and further out of reach. And so I could see him now playing more within the team scope and the team game. Right? I'm not saying that LeBron didn't care about winning. I want to clarify that, because I'm sure some people are going to be like, oh, so you don't think LeBron cares? No, I absolutely believe LeBron cares about winning. But when you have a roster that isn't very good, and it's like, well, I could take 30 shots, or I could pass it to these guys and they can go 0 of 10. Like, it's just a different feel where, one, now he's got the scoring title, and two, it's like, well, I could take 30 shots, or I could give Malik Beasley 10 of those 30, and he's probably going to go 6 or 7 of 10 from 3, as opposed to me. I'm not as good of a three-point shooter as he is. LeBron's a streaky three-point shooter. That's the difference. Like, LeBron knows guys' percentages, where guys we've seen his just basketball IQ. We've seen reporters try to challenge him and his just photographic memory of the game of basketball. And he's proven time and time again that he knows all the ins and outs. He knows everything. So it's a different team for one. He's already gotten the scoring record. And the whole thing that everybody's been complaining about is LeBron needs rest. LeBron's been killing himself. He's 38 years old. He's in year 20. Why should we have him carry the workload every night? This, that, and the other. And now he's not. And people are like, is everything okay with him? Is he okay? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, the only goal should be winning. If LeBron scores 10 points and we win, who cares? Why would we want LeBron to score 30 and we lose? How many times have we watched LeBron James get 30, 40 this year and we lose the game entirely? How many times has that happened? We've seen that just ridiculous amount of times, over and over and over and over again. And it's just one of those things like, why do we want to keep watching that when we have a new team? We have a real team with real depth and real scoring and real shooting and real playmaking and all of those things. It's the same thing with Anthony Davis, right? Like Anthony Davis has been great defensively. He's been dominating the defensive end. I mean, just the ground he covers, just not even blocking shots. I mean, obviously we all know he could do that, but just the pressure that he puts. That Warriors game was a clinic from him defensively. He was running the floor with Jordan Poole and just keeping in front of him, blocking his shot. Like he was doing everything. He was everywhere. He was the defensive anchor, which is what we need. He only took 5 shots. Now, the previous team, if Anthony Davis took 5 shots, I was with you and like, let's get the pitchforks and go after this guy because we weren't going to win the game. We weren't going to have a dominant fashion if Anthony Davis is only taking 5 shots because we didn't have the talent. We didn't have the team. We didn't have the roster. Now we do. And I said it in the first Warriors game because people were upset that Anthony Davis didn't dominate the game. And I was like, the guy gave you everything you could want. He had huge defensive plays. Yes, he only had 13 points, but he had 16 rebounds. He had like 3 blocks. He had 2 huge plays that likely sealed the game for us. Like, if his job is to make us a top 5 defense, if he is doing that, we have more than enough scoring. We have shown that we have more than enough scoring, even with LeBron James and Anthony Davis not playing, right? Like, even when they are getting 13 points, we have more than enough scoring. I mean, we're putting up 120 a game with LeBron and AD putting up role player numbers. I mean, if that's not evidence that we have more than enough scoring, I don't know what to tell you. And look, I'm not saying that we won't, like, there's going to be games. You know, it might happen in Dallas. We might need LeBron James and Anthony Davis to step up and have big games and maybe establish the tone early, especially if D'Lo doesn't play, right? We might need those two to really kind of just dominate that game and get us that win. Fine. But, you know, it comes down to the pace of the game. Like you saw in that Warriors game, we were basically ahead start to finish the entire way. They went on a little run. LeBron went back in. We get the run back. And then that was it. Next thing you know, we're up 28. Right? Like, so if LeBron didn't need to go get 30, I don't care. The only concern any of us should have is that we win the basketball game. We know Anthony Davis can go get 30 and 20. We know LeBron James can go get 40, 10, and 10. We know this. They've done it their whole careers. They've done it this year. But why if we don't need them to? I would rather them be healthy, ready to go, than try to kill themselves in games that we don't need them to. And we still get the win. And now they're ready to go come playoff time. Talk about load management. You know what load management is? It's only having to play 25 minutes a game and we win. And LeBron and AD don't have to do everything and don't have to handle the workload. Again, if it calls for it, you know, like let's say Dallas, we're getting smacked or it's late game or whatever, and like LeBron James and Anthony Davis just completely disappear. Fine, then criticize them for that. I just don't understand the criticism for LeBron James and Anthony Davis playing good games in all other areas except for offense, and everybody else is contributing great offensively and we win. And it's like, well, Anthony Davis and LeBron James didn't do enough. They didn't score enough. I don't care. Like I understand we are in a very like scoring driven league and we are in a like, if you're not putting up points, you're not doing anything type thing, but that's not what basketball really is, right? There's more to the games of basketball than scoring. I mean, there is. Look at the Clippers and Kings game. Right? They both put up 170 points. 175. Kings won 176 to 175. Like that's crazy. But people love that stuff. And I get that. I get scoring is a big thing. Like people love Malik Beasley because he went off, gave us 25 that game and shot 7-11. That is great. But what else are we doing on the basketball court? It's great if we score 120 points a game, but if we're giving up 130, who cares? We're losing. You know, like that's the big concern with like Dallas, right? Like Dallas has like you look at that, you're like Kyrie, Luka, man, they're going to be tough. But yes, they're going to score 120 a game, but they can't stop the other team. They're having troubles. They've won games, but they've also lost several games that they probably should have won because they just don't have anyone to stop them, right? And if it comes down to a stop, Dallas is one of the last teams you trust to get that stop, right? Like it's just let them shoot and pray, right? Like if they miss it, yay, we got the stop, good defense. Like no, you didn't play defense, they just missed. Right? Like, and that's the same concerns, like even with Phoenix. Phoenix is going to be incredible offensively, but are they going to be able are they going to be able to outscore teams every single game? And are they going to be able to play good enough defense? Right? Like, and look, Phoenix has more, like they on paper look incredible. I'm not trying to take that away, but there's a lot of questions with those teams. Offense is great, but you got to be able to play defense and you got to be able to get stops. Usually, the team that wins the championship are usually top 5 defensive team, or at worst top 10. You know, like that, you need that. Even in today's NBA, you still need guys that can get stops and impact the game in other areas. And that's what LeBron James and Anthony Davis can do, and especially LeBron. I mean, LeBron's presence on the basketball court is just unprecedented. Like it's ridiculous. Him just being out there alone is just enough to prevent teams from you know, sticking with other guys and stuff. Because it's like, okay, like, yeah, I could let Malik Beasley, you know, take a shot, or I could trust that LeBron is going to miss a dunk, right? Like, it's like, come on. I think they're fine. I think everything's okay. We have real tests ahead of us. We need to see how does this team look against the better teams. Now, granted, we beat Denver twice, once without Anthony Davis. Right, and then we've beaten Milwaukee. We've beaten several of the really good quality teams. Right, Memphis. So that was with the previous team. I definitely think we could beat those teams. I don't think we're gonna beat every team that comes our way, but I do think we have a really good shot. You know, and we just do our job. If LeBron and AD need to step up a night, and then we need them to go off for 30 or whatever, then fine. Let him do that. But LeBron's smart. LeBron understands the game. He knows, like, hey, we're good. Playing this Warriors team, if I have to, I can go rattle off 10 straight points against these Warriors if I have to. Right? So I don't think it's of any cause of concern. But that's me personally. And as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think there's something wrong? Do you think it's good? Do you agree with me, like, that all that matters is winning? Who cares about the stats? It's probably better anyway for the team to play team basketball, because we need all these guys to have confidence and be ready to go come the playoffs. There's no question LeBron James is going to show up in the playoffs. There's no question AD is going to show up in the playoffs. It's just, can they be healthy? And, you know, can the other guys step up? You know, because LeBron and AD both getting you 30 every night is great. But if all the rest of the guys are only giving you 10, you're losing every game. So it's like, you know, we need these guys to have confidence and understand their roles and build that chemistry, build that development, show that they can be trusted in moments and win games by themselves. We need all that stuff. So anyway, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comments section.